Hello, my freshmen, and thanks for your patience once again for really working with me on these kind of surprise virtual days. It's been an absolutely crazy week, and I know it's an especially tough week to be working on essay writing. That is why it took me some time to reshuffle lessons around. Please know that we are devoting some time, actually quite a bit of time, in class next week for wrapping up our essays. Today becomes a day that we can use to continue moving forward, especially with outlining. It is a virtual day. Again, I encourage you to take a moment to pray if you haven't done so already. Feel free to pause the video if you need, and then we will continue from there. And continuing from there. So right now you're watching the finishing your outline video. What I'm going to use this video for is to demonstrate how I would tackle outlining for the Acorn People Essay specifically. I'm going to try to fly through it as fast as I can. It might be a slightly longer lesson video, which is why I do want to give you this whole weekend to work through it. I still want to check outlines for completeness, but I'll do that in class on Monday instead. So you can use Monday as a day to put finishing touches on your essay outlines, but I would really like a chance to see your outline, kind of give you some feedback on it in class on Monday. Please note with that, I do plan to spend most of next week in class working on typing out our full essays. You should already have yours started based on what we did this Wednesday, but just by the end of next Thursday, we should be done with essays, ready to move on with our next unit as well. That is the goal at least. So we are inside the Friday the 17th lesson folder. Again, finishing your outline is what you're watching right now. Notice that I did put just the assignment for the Acorn People essay outline right here. Hopefully you have your paper copy of your outline with you, so you can just fill that in on your own. I've also put in a copy of the book there in PDF form, so you can read the book online if you need. For looking up evidence, that's there for you too. If you do click on the outline, you will see a copy of it that you can download or print if that's helpful for you. By the way, if you've already turned in your outline virtually, I'll grade yours this weekend, so we can get that step done ahead of time. View will allow you to see the outline if you just need to jot down some notes on your own. Clicking it will allow you to download it or print it if you have that ability at home. Again, I hope you have your paper copy. That makes it easiest to do. What I'm going to do is open up my own copy and demonstrate to you how I would outline for this essay. So I've got a blank outline right here. Just going to fill in real quick what I already know already, starting with my thesis statement. I will get rid of these extra lines. I won't need them while I'm typing. I'm just going to do my Mr. Bradshaw one. So my thesis is Mr. Bradshaw. Just going to hit enter. Let's do it right here. Mr. Bradshaw is stern, orderly, and what was the third one? Distant. There we go. That's my whole thesis. I'm going with a very short one, and that's fine. For my attention getter, I know the strategy I liked was I just write a brief character description of Mr. Bradshaw. As a reminder, outlines don't have to be in complete sentences, so here I'm just leaving myself a note to follow with from there. If I remember right, when I was doing my full draft demonstration, I think I used an imagine statement. Begin with imagine statement. I believe I did that at least when I did my draft, so I put a question mark there just as something to try as I am drafting. From there, background sentences has to state the novel title and author. I might say something like character. I might say something like this description matches a character named Mr. Bradshaw. He is a minor character in the Acorn People. Italics because it's the title of a novel by Ron Jones. Notice there are just a couple of sentences that give some context there, state the novel title and the author. That leads to my thesis statement there. From there, I'm ready for body paragraphs. I think I'll just demonstrate how to work through one of them. If you can do one body paragraph, you can do all of them. I'm just going to start with a topic sentence here. I think I used, first of all, Mr. Bradshaw is a stern character. Again, topic sentences should be short and sweet, so I'm just giving myself a way to start there. Now I need to prove it with evidence, and here I actually do want to look it up. So give me a moment as I take a look at this online. Just go straight into the book. I might specifically look for when he's first introduced. I wonder if that's a helpful passage right here. Just giving it a moment to load up. Alright, I found the book. Now I just have to find the page. I wonder if Control F works. There's a search right here. What happens if I type in Brad? It does. So I used the search bar to look up Brad. Found Bradshaw right there. He had a ruddy complexion and a illustration. Manner that matched. He administered the camp like a Mandarin warlord. I think I'm actually just going to use that sentence right there because that's perfect. He administered the camp like a Mandarin warlord. Perfect. Might as well find the page number. Page 24. Just as a reminder, we should give page numbers for every quote or paraphrase we use. So I might even say something like, on page 24, the narrator, Ron, states. I'll just say the narrator states. And then I can give the direct quote. Notice I'm doing this in quotation marks. Did they say administered? Yep. Administered the camp like a Mandarin warlord. In my commentary, I have to explain that. That is a simile, so I might call it a simile or a comparison. I might say, when Ron makes this comparison, he means that Mr. Bradshaw is very, we might say, serious and strict. I might even mention more of what that page states. On that same page, Ron explains the tight schedule Mr. Bradshaw forced the camp to follow. And now it might be good to double back to this term stern. Again, commentary, I have 2 sentences already, which is fine. I can go up to 4. Let's just see if I can do one more right here. When Ron makes this comparison, he means that Mr. Bradshaw is very serious and strict. On that same page, Ron explains the tight schedule Mr. Bradshaw forced the camp to follow. The former army man seemed to care about the kids having fun at camp because he himself is so stern. Period. I think that's fine. I'll do my summary sentence and then read back the paragraph to see if we like it. Conclusion sentence, this should tie up this paragraph. It can maybe lead into the next one as well. I could connect the two because I'm going to talk about how he's orderly next. It is because of this, I can do his name again, Mr. Bradshaw. Seriousness. It is because of Mr. Bradshaw's seriousness that he is also, I already said very quite a bit in this. He's also an incredibly orderly man. Period. Let's see if we like this paragraph. If I like it, I continue. Notice that I did write this one in complete sentences. Again, you don't necessarily need to. I just found it easier to do for myself. If you do outline in complete sentences, it does make it so much easier to draft later on. We'll look at that later on next week. First of all, Mr. Bradshaw is a stern character. On page 24, the narrator states, he administered the camp like a Mandarin warlord. When Ron makes this comparison, he means that Mr. Bradshaw is very serious and strict. On that same page, Ron explains the tight schedule Mr. Bradshaw forced the camp to follow. The former army man does not seem to care about the kids having fun at camp because he is so stern. It is because of Mr. Bradshaw's seriousness that he is also an incredibly orderly man, which leads into our next paragraph. I think that sounds good. While I'm at it, I'm just going to crank out my other topic sentences, but for the sake of time, I will not walk through evidence again. Once again, use the text to find quotes or paraphrases that support your ideas. I used first of all already. I might say something like, in addition, Mr. Bradshaw is, I might say, quite orderly. And I might as well do my third. Topic sentence 2, just while I can. I used first already, so I might say, lastly, Mr. Bradshaw is a distant person. I'll have to explain what that means with evidence and commentary. Once again, I will not do that within this video, just because it would take quite a bit of time. If you do need a sample body paragraph, be sure to watch back to the portion where I planned body paragraph 1. I think I will put my whole sample outline in Schoology once I'm done. Lastly is a conclusion. So a restated thesis, different wording or phrasing from my original thesis. This would be a good time to restate the title of the novel as well. I might say, in Ron Jones, The Acorn People, Mr. Bradshaw is stern, orderly, and distant, period. Now, when I plan conclusions, I like to do it as quickly as possible. Conclusions, for me, they tend to write themselves after I'm done drafting everything else. I might just give myself a note here. I might say, one small sentence for each body paragraph. Might feel repetitive. And it is okay if you feel like your conclusion's a little bit repetitive from your body. That's part of the point of why it's there. For my final thought, I need to finish in some kind of powerful, creative, or memorable way. This is always the hardest part of planning for me. I'm just going to try to speed up the process a bit. One strategy that could work is doubling back to my attention getter. I want to see what I did. So I described him. See, I wrote a brief character description of him. Sorry if there's a weird cut in the video. I tried a couple of different things for my final thought and didn't like it. One thing that I might try is I'm just going to discuss why Mr. Bradshaw, so I'll just call him Mr. B here, character is important for the story's plot or theme. Not necessarily going to spend more time spitballing that right here, but I am going to try it out. Again, I'm leaving it for myself as a note. Something to try when I'm typing my full essay later is something that I can try there. Once again, once I finish my body paragraphs, I am going to upload this to Schoology. So if you're looking for a model over this weekend to use for yours, you can. Until then, I just want you to use this weekend to outline as much as you can. We'll use class time on Monday to check them. Hopefully, some of you can get some typing done on Monday, too. Otherwise, that's the plan for next Tuesday. Sorry about all the craziness this week. We're trying to make the best out of a bad situation. I look forward to seeing you all again on Monday. Peace.